Ladies and gentlemen, for the 35th time, it's SummerSlam! Ladies and gentlemen, it is Saturday, July 30th, 2022. It is SummerSlam Saturday. I guess we're doing Saturday pay-per-views, or I'm sorry, premium live events now. Thank you for joining us today. We are the Essential Wrestling Podcast, powered as always by the Eastern Observer. Oh, you can taste the power, and as always, sponsored by ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends, play against the universe. And guys, she will like it too. We are going 5 strong. Hey, today, boys. Sorry, I didn't error message come up on my screen. Tyler, you seeing that too? I don't know whose Facebook page that is. It isn't mine. So, but ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce us to our band of merry men. Go over a little bit of SummerSlam history before we get started with this year's show. On the bottom part of our screen, the first ever PWP champion, the living legend, John DeConnie, John Howard, things this beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Jersey. Couldn't ask for a better day for SummerSlam.
You are not kidding, sir. It's gorgeous out there, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun inside.
Yeah, and John, I said we're going to throw this one at you. Unfortunately, you don't really fit into the scheme that I was doing here, but I'll just start with the original SummerSlam. Mega Powers versus the Mega Bucks. This was the beginning of the Mega Powers explosion. It didn't really seem too much here. But what an absolutely great event. This was the event that got me into wrestling.
Yeah, and I was all about the Mega Powers back then because I was a big fan of Randy. But that show, but I was never really a fan of Hulk, and it tended to be that the top of the card was not necessarily where my attention was. This was one of my first and biggest pulling at me moments. The Hart Foundation and Demolition. I was all about Demolition back then, and to have to pick between the two of those on that particular Sunday, that was rough.
Yeah, that was early Demolition too. They had just won the tag team championships at WrestleMania 4 over Strikeforce. Another loss for Tito at WrestleMania, but I digress. That was that was the separation of the Hart Foundation. That was when Jimmy Hart, and he ended up costing him the match. So, yeah, another error. Okay. Anyway, we'll go to the left of you. I guess to the right of you. I never get that straight on this screen. Overseas, our senior UK correspondent, Gary Mehaffy. Gary, top of the evening to him, laddie. A little bit of a more normal time for you today.
Exactly. It's just turned 7 p.m. here, so it's much more palatable than a Tuesday night.
But Gary, we have nice round numbers to discuss, and as you saw, or as we mentioned constantly, we put the British Bulldog as our kind of our picture to promote this specific SummerSlam special because it was 30 years ago that it was SummerSlam 1992 at Wembley Stadium in your neck of the woods.
Yeah. Little known fact, I actually refereed the main event and wrestled in the opener as well. But although I was watching from the top of the stand, so it's okay. Yeah, no, it's one of those things. To think that's 30 years ago is mad. As I said on Tuesday, It was the first pay-per-view we watched at our friend's house at the top of the street. My brother and I and one of the guys at the top of the street. It was the first one we actually got together to watch. So it's very memorable for lots of reasons. So.
Yeah, so the iconic. The show started off with the bang, with the Legion of Doom coming down with the motorcycles, and then the whole Ric Flair thing with Randy Savage and the Ultimate Warrior for the title. So that was absolutely a fun card. That was 30 years ago. If we rewind 20 years ago, we have a undisputed championship, The Rock versus Brock Lesnar, that I believe was actually attended by.
And number 4, John Smith.
You would be correct, sir. There's 2 things I remember from the 3 things. One is Shawn Michaels and Triple H in the unsanctioned fight. It was Shawn Michaels' first match back in 5 years.
Yeah.
Second was Brock Lesnar beating The Rock for his first undisputed title, and I had ran myself all the way up to like the 5th row by that point of the show, because I was there by myself. And then the traffic was the most brutal traffic I've ever sat in my life, and I was driving a manual at the time.
Yeah, that's the wonderful world of Long Island, huh? Nassau Coliseum.
Oh.
And that's a world that myself, as well as our sheriff has come home. He is now the host of the Sunday Sauce here on the Eastern Observer. Tyler Adele, you got to explain the eye tech here on your helmet.
So I wasn't able to get my hands on one of those Alex Ovechkin tinted visors before the show, so I was working with what I got. Plus, I figured, double feature.
Welcome back, pal. We have missed you. It's been quite a bit. Let everybody know, how have you been?
I've been all right, helping out Joe back behind the scenes, helping out with the website, helping everybody, including you guys, move forward and grow with the Eastern Observer.
There you go. And we are growing, and we thank everybody. Make sure, just get this out of the way now. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the Eastern Observer. Please like this video, comment if you like. It always helps our algorithm. Ty, it's all about the algorithm. That's it. Tyler, 30 years ago was Davey Boy Smith. 20 years ago was Brock Lesnar. 10 years ago, right in your wheelhouse, as a John Cena fan, and I'm assuming it was John Cena versus Big Show versus question marks in this match.
Yeah, so this was probably, if I had to go back in time and figure out where exactly I was for this match, I'd probably have to assume, right at my house. Obviously never bet against the question marks, because CM Punk was a literal question mark this year after Money in the Bank. Yeah, I mean, look, SummerSlam 2012, like you said, right in my wheelhouse when we were starting to, The Rock was coming back. And there was a couple of big things that happened on this card with people that were around today. It was, we were talking before, Antonio Cesaro's first title win on the pre-show. Daniel Bryan and Kane were starting off the beginning of their Hell No, or their Team Hell No story. Sheamus defeating Alberto Del Rio. The Primetime Players were still a thing back then. This was my best area of wrestling at my age, and that's not saying much considering you guys were through the Attitude Era.
No, it's exactly that's all about when you were around for it, Ty.
Yeah.
For most of us, it was the golden era. For most of us, it was Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, and Randy Savage, Mr. Perfect. It wasn't even the Attitude Era. But it's funny you mentioned the Primetime Players. Yesterday, my wife works from home on Fridays, so she put on Good Morning America while she works. And there's our global ambassador. I guess Titus O'Neil's first job as WWE Global Ambassador was to appear on Good Morning America judging a cheeseburger eating contest. So that was good to see Titus. I believe Jalen Rose and Tiki Barber were in it. They got all the celebrities out. And Titus was a part of it, judging cheeseburgers from around the tri-state area. And of course, we'll go back to 10 years ago. You got to go back to last year. I know the thing that everybody's still talking about, a match that we kind of really didn't discuss in detail, the significance of this match. And then we started watching it, and as it unfolded, and it still became one of the more legendary performances in SummerSlam history. Of course, I'm talking last year with Alexa Bliss and our beautiful Eva Marie. We miss her. I miss her. I miss her. So let's just get right to it, boys. Here are the overall standings heading into the show. John DeConnie has a temporary lead. I do believe we're going to get some more people back into this thing starting on Tuesday. 81 wins on the season. I'm currently behind John Smith and Gary Mehaffy on the bottom. Tyler, I know, has been busy with work. He hasn't been able to chime in as much. Here are the WWE standings. Thus far, John Smith and myself, due to Liv Morgan, and for John Smith, more importantly, a correct women's Money in the Bank cash-in takes the lead. Here's how we did last year at SummerSlam. John DeConnie went 8-1. He got Charlotted. Gary Mehaffy went 8-1. I guess he bet against the Usos. Not a good idea. John Smith went 8-1. He bet on Goldberg. I guess I really can't say because I believe I bet on Goldberg as well against Bobby Lashley. Then there's me and you, Ty. Ty, we started a new tradition here a few weeks back. I will give you the honors of reading this.
My bad. That's on me. This one's on me, rather. The ticker.
This was on me. Here's our scoring for SummerSlam. Major points on the line, 25 points for the huge main event for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. 15 points for all the title matches, 5 points for the non-titles. Kickoff matches count. Nothing was announced, but if anything gets dropped down, which it doesn't really look like it with an 8-match card, if anything gets dropped down to the kickoff show, that will stay. That will count towards the pool. Perfect pay-per-view bonus is 25 points. And then we got to worry about Theory. We will discuss Theory in the main event. And then the Raw roll-ups going into this. Raw and SmackDown is the ones we're looking at specifically for those of you scoring at home. Raw at 35, SmackDown at 21. I believe the only change, this isn't updated from Tuesday. I do believe Impact is at 27. John DeConnie, after probably the most unnecessary Raw roll-up I've ever seen in my entire life by Tiffany Nieves. And I applaud it. It's right up there with Liv Morgan's and Ronda Rousey's. She rolled her opponent, whoever this was, she rolled her opponent across the entire ring to roll her up and then put her legs on the rope so she should get the win. It was the most incredible thing.
Poor Miss Jada Stone, but hats off to Tiffany Nieves.
That was absolutely amazing. So the first match we're going to talk about, boys. Hold on, we got some comments chiming in. I forgot to put the SummerSlam brand up. Where is my head? We got some comments chiming in. James Wheeler, it's crazy that tonight is the first SummerSlam, first in July. Indeed. James Weston chiming in. Big fan of Tyler Adele. The Titus dive head first under the news desk. He should have. He should have. It was a contest. It was all. It was 5 tri-state winners. Titus's plate, I believe, was clean. He ate all 5 burgers. I don't think Tiki and Jalen Rose, and actually local weatherman Sam Champion was a judge as well. I don't think Sam Champion ate the whole plate too. James Wheeler watched 5 SummerSlam, including 2002, in anticipation for tonight. Yeah, that was the birth of Brock Lesnar. We might be seeing the end of Brock Lesnar, maybe. Oh, this is the last title shot. This is it for him and Roman, right? This is the last one.
Oh yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, totally.
So I'm gonna have paper flowing everywhere. Let me get this under the desk before as we get into our first match, which will be for the Raw Women's Championship. As reported by WWE.com, all of these intros with the pictures and Becky Lynch's hat, all from WWE.com. I did not write this. I'm blatantly plagiarizing. At SummerSlam, Bianca Belair will battle Becky Lynch in a highly personal showdown for the Raw Women's Championship. Since her triumphant victory over Lynch to capture the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania 38, Bianca Belair's second women's title captured on the grandest stage of it all, Belair has been a dominant force atop the Raw Mountain. Last year at SummerSlam, it was Lynch's shocking return that derailed Belair's first title reign. Can the EST get payback in front of her home state crowd in Nashville, Tennessee? That was something that slipped through my fingers. I did not realize that until I copied and pasted this from .com. Bianca's got home field advantage of this. So it'd be interesting to see if that changes anybody's thoughts and theories. She did go to the University of Tennessee as an All-American track and field star. But we're going to go with our home field correspondent representing the United Kingdom and Becky Lynch. Gary Mehaffy, how do you see this going? What do you see happening here? Can your Irish last kicker get it done?
Yes. Oh, sorry, you want me to say more? Sorry. I'm going to say, it's like when we did the piece during the week for the Eastern Observer site, I was saying that I'd almost forgotten this match was happening. Until they had the brawl on Raw on Monday night. And I thought, oh, yeah, that's right, this match is happening. I do think, as I said, I don't think necessarily it's time to take it off Bianca, but I do think that she'll lose again, not as quickly as she did before against Becky, but that she will lose, and it will be a catalyst down the line. Now, whether, as we've said, there maybe well, I don't think I'll have any outside interference, but I am. Sorry, I'm about to choke here. Just getting so emotional at the thought of Becky winning the belt back. Becky's going to take it, and I think it'll be clean enough, and it may well lead to heel turn down the line, but we'll see.
John Smith in the EasternObserver.com, not the Eastern, I'm sorry, in EasternObserver.com. Don't get the out, right? Like instead of get the F out, it's get the out. John Smith, you did mention outside interference in this one.
Yeah, by who I wouldn't know. It's just whoever they decide to put Bianca in a program with next. But I think it's time for her to take a loss here. You know, she's been pushed for a year and a half straight, so I'm going with Becky Lynch on this one also.
Actually, that was the SmackDown women's title. That was the one I was going to set you up for. I forgot. I got my women's title matches wrong. I think, right? You had Charlotte, yeah. John DeConti down at the bottom part of our screen. How do you like this one going?
I was ready for Becky Lynch to possibly. Okay, I love the way it worked out because it went to Liv. I thought the way everything was setting up before the Money in the Bank, that it was Becky's to take. She had been on that long losing streak, and she'd wanted to get herself into it. It was the right time for her to win the briefcase, use it to beat Bianca because, let's be honest, Bianca's run is a little bit stale. And when that didn't happen, I don't know why it would happen now then. So it's one of those things where I'll believe it when I see it. It just seems like they love Bianca so much. I say she retains. I wouldn't be upset if she lost, but I think she's going to retain.
Tyler, James Wheeler chiming in. There's a comment. James Wheeler chiming in. Long-term storytelling. Bianca winning the match this year will prove that she learned from last year. Last year was a 37-second
27.
I mean, the match time itself, let's be fair here. The whole segment probably lasted like a half an hour between Sasha Banks not showing up, then Carmella walking the aisle, then Becky Lynch coming back walking the aisle. You know, it was a long, the match itself, Bianca got struck, but did she learn, Ty?
I don't think so. I kind of referring back to what everybody else said, Bianca's run's getting a little stale. It's time to shake it up a little bit. I think Becky Lynch is going to take the win tonight.
All right, I got Becky Lynch as well, solely because of Clash at the Castle. You cannot keep Becky Lynch off that card, and if Drew is going to be the challenger, we found that last night, that Drew McIntyre will be the challenger. I feel like the UK will need a representative to walk the aisle as champion. And I think that representative will belong to Becky Lynch. So it's time for big time Bex to step up. So I'm going with the Clash at the Castle, as Gary would call her. I guess an Irish ginger American. That's not ginger American. Ginger Irish. There you go. Gary's favorite ginger walking the aisle as Raw Women's Champion. The United States Championship will be on the line. Theory's got a busy night. I don't even know what that word is. A burgeoning rival. Anyway, built out of showing off their muscles and squirting baby oil into each other's eyes, reached its boiling point at WWE Money in the Bank. In their match, Lashley got payback by dismantling the young upstart, with Theory operating on defense throughout the match. At that premium live event, the Almighty captured his third United States Championship, while Theory became the youngest Money in the Bank winner ever, by winning the Money in the Bank ladder match as a surprise entrance. So the running it back from Money in the Bank, John DeConti, Theory, he's got a busy night ahead of him because he's got all sorts of plans. And as he announced on last night, did a promo on SmackDown, he's feuding with like 5 different people right now. Like nobody likes Austin Theory going into this.
Least of all the fan base. So they went nuts when he won that briefcase. But yeah, I think in my head, there's two different scenarios going on. One that just kind of blows up everything, and then one that's kind of safe. But in both of them, this match doesn't change in my estimation. Whether Roman's going to retain, and because he's on a lesser schedule, you want someone like Bobby Lashley to be on Raw, to be the top champion on Raw, considering the top champ isn't around that much, or, whether it goes another way, whatever the case may be, I don't think Theory needs to have this U.S. title, whatever the plans are for him for the rest of the night. So I think Bobby retains.
All right, Ty, what are you thinking?
I'm going to go Bobby Lashley.
Okay.
Yeah, there's really no rhyme or reason to it. I just think the way that they're setting up Theory to be one of the world's most hated people, to eventually get involved with the world title a little bit more, I don't think the U.S. title is really necessary for him again right away.
All right, quick shout out, the Certified Wrestling Podcast, yo, and then showing me too. I love SummerSlam, Certified Wrestling Podcast. Did we just become best friends?
Yep.
All right, there we go. Shout out to the Certified Wrestling Podcast. Thank you for tuning in and watching. John Smith, I guess Lashley's. It seems like in our pool, the originals pool, seems like it's about 75-25 in Lashley's favor. Theory didn't really have a plan going into Money in the Bank. Is he going to have a plan this time?
I think he's going to have a plan, but it's going to be thwarted. The real question is, do you want to go do karate in the garage? No, but last month I picked Theory to beat him only because I thought he needed something on him to to be relevant, and he wasn't part of the Money in the Bank conversation. Now that he's got that briefcase, there's no reason to put the belt on him too.
That's exactly. And then James Wheeler with another point. Bobby Lashley is over as a babyface. I'm enjoying his run as U.S. champion. I see a match between Theory and Ziggler, and that's the other. And Gary, that's the other wrench in this. He's got Madcap Moss, he's got Dolph Ziggler, he's got the Bloodline, which is never good. Brock Lesnar hates him, and as of last night, Drew McIntyre. Theory is not. He's right. He's not very well liked, and there you go.
Yeah, I mean, that's why it was funny when John DeConte was talking. Like, I had two scenarios in my head. One was Theory leaves SummerSlam with everything. He beats Lashley, he cashes in, he has all the belts, and they kind of go, yeah. And then I woke up and realized that that's not going to happen, and he's going to leave SummerSlam with nothing, in my opinion. But we'll come to that later on. But no, I think if Bobby Lashley will go over, it'll not be an absolute squash, but I think it'll be as close to it, and he'll win it, so that Theory still has his cash in for later on if he needs it.
Yeah, I got Lashley in this one. It's Lashley's not even like. Is this still a thing? I know he's mentioning he's going to win the U.S. title, but like, other than a brief thing on Raw last week, it's been Austin. It's been Theory and the Bloodline, and then it's been Theory and Lesnar. Now it's Theory and Ziggler, and then it's Theory and Madcap Moss on SmackDown, where Lashley's not. I just think Theory is looking past this for whatever reason. He's just saying it's going to be as simple as that. I'm going to win this. I'm going to win that with no plan, and it's just not going to work out. Might as well address, I guess, something. No, I'll save that one. So we have, going into our next match, we have John Smith's favorite wrestler in the entire world, Pat McAfee. Has issues with Corbin. Pat McAfee's issues with Corbin became apparent on the June 17th edition of SmackDown. Just moments after losing a last laugh match against Madcap Moss, an irate Corbin attempted to take out his frustrations on the blue brand announcer. In response, the outspoken McAfee led the WWE Universe members in Minneapolis and laughing at humiliated Corbin right out of the arena. The following week, McAfee challenged Corbin to a showdown at the biggest event of the summer and proclaimed he was ready to feel alive. Corbin responded at WWE Money in the Bank with a brutal attack when the show went off air and left the electric commentator in a neck brace. Last night on SmackDown, Corbin bought a ticket, sat right behind him, and heckled him, so that was pretty funny. John Smith, your boy.
My boy, yeah, I love me some Pat McAfee. I think he's gonna win. I don't know. I just feel like this is the type of story where the face goes over. Happy Corbin should win, but I got maybe Madcap Moss interfering on behalf of McAfee to help him pull it off.
All right, Certified Wrestling Podcast chiming in frantically right now. We'll go back to Theory for a quick second. Seth Rollins says Seth Rollins is going to take the briefcase from Theory somehow. Triple H don't like Theory. That's a rough night for Austin Theory.
Where's this SpongeBob on that one?
Yeah. Gary, who do you like? Pat McAfee, Happy Corbin?
Oh, I'm Pat McAfee as well. This is actually, in many ways, the match I'm actually most looking forward to. Because the times that we've seen McAfee before, He's looked like a natural. He's looked really good. Baron Corbin's a lot better than people actually give him credit for. But as John was saying, this is the sort of match, though, that the face needs to go over, and it will be a good match. Corbin can lose. He'll not lose anything by taking the loss, and McAfee will come out of it as the winner and can, as I said in the piece, the article, he can spend the rest of his life dancing on the desk to Nakamura's music, as far as I'm concerned. So,
Yes. Tyler.
Give me Pat McAfee for this one. I think it'll be just absolute gold at the announce desk for a couple weeks if he can pull a win over him, and we can hear it absolutely nonstop for 2 hours every Friday.
That's just as good reason to hear it. John DeConnie, former teammates with the Indianapolis Colts.
Former roommates.
Random, huh? Yeah, again, so why are there always roommates? Like Brian Pillman Sr. and John Harbaugh, like that's random. Like who would have thought Baron Corbin and Pat McAfee? Why are they? You could tell right there what they thought of Baron Corbin when they roomed him with the punter. You know,
that is an excellent point, and that's what I still think of him now. So I think McAfee goes over here.
All right, so I'm on the islands. Here we go. I think this match is going to be absolutely phenomenal, but this is no way. Like I don't see beating Austin Theory at WrestleMania with a Raw roll-up. Check one. Congratulations for Pat McAfee. A Raw roll-up at WrestleMania. That's one of the. I guess we have. Okay, so now we have Liv Morgan, Pat McAfee at WrestleMania, and Tiffany Nieves from last Thursday. Top 3 of the year so far. I'll give them credit for that. This is Baron Corbin, though. Like I can't see him in some type. It's a straight-up wrestling match. If this was no DQ, I think I would go with McAfee. But I got happy Corbin winning this straight up, and then you got the other way. Then you got Corbin and McAfee's face, and then they keep going. You know, like there's no reason for this feud to stop. It's not like I don't know, another back jump by Corbin if he loses. So like we've seen that 3 times the past 3 weeks. So I'm gonna go with Baron Corbin. And I'll stand on the island. I'll plant my Baron Corbin flag. There we go. We have a no disqualification match. Wow, we're going pretty quick on time because I dropped another thing. Pat has the most over baby face in WWE. That is up there.
Top 5.
He's top 5, yeah.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns. It's amazing those number 1 fingers in the air when he comes out. We have a no disqualification match. After their hostile takeover, the Judgment Day have been on a warpath looking to recruit Dominic Mysterio into the fold by finally having stepped out of his father's shadow. When Dominic refused, Balor and Priest took more of a direct approach, forcing Dominic to either join them or watch his father suffer a vicious concerto. Dominic agreed to join, but it was too late as the Judgment Day turned its attack on the younger Mysterio while Rey narrowly escaped. The following week, Balor and Priest promised they would end Rey's illustrious career before Ripley heinously crashed their anniversary celebration, resulting in Rey suffering a 3-on-1 beatdown. Ripley took it a step further when she blindsided Rey while he was being attended by the paramedics. Not to mention Lita Mysterio also dated Buddy Murphy, who was now Rhea Ripley's current boyfriend. There is a lot going on here, Tyler.
Yeah, a lot is a little bit of an understatement. This was probably the second hardest match for me to pick on this one. I'm gonna be honest.
This can go either way.
And depending on how deep you want to go into it, I mean, I'm going to change up my pick at the last minute. I'm going to go Judgment Day, but I originally had Mysterio's. I got to say Judgment Day. Look, with all the I can't say what I want to say, but with all the hoopla going on, it's just
way to learn the lessons of others, Ty.
Yeah, right. It's so hard to pick, and I can't really even give you a reason why I would pick one or the other, because I could pick one or pick the other and really not be wrong either way.
Yeah. There you go. All right, John DeConnie.
Okay, so my initial thought was Ray got his win at MSG 20th anniversary, Everybody goes home happy, blah, 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 blah. The no DQ, that's what's got me a little bit worried. Like, there's no reason for the Judgment Day not to win this. But is the no DQ there so Rhea can help them out, or they can add another person to the fold? Or is the no DQ there so Edge can come back and get his revenge on the guys who kicked him out of his own group? I'm going with the Judgment Day, but I'm very uneasy. This one was one of the tougher ones to pick, but I'm going with the Judgment Day.
Yeah, it could go either way. James Wheeler chiming in. This will be an epic match. Finish. The cryptic messages from Raw will appear on the Titantron, and it's Edge. He spears Finn and costs the Judgment Day the match. Certified Wrestling Podcast chiming in. I don't know what that first part is, but changes Bray Wyatt, Edge, Beth Phoenix come to save right. Dominic changes.
Dominic.
Okay, Dominic. Gotcha. The M is right next to the period on the keyboard. There you go. So Dominic swerves. All right. Interesting. John Smith.
No, I got Judgment Day just winning, straight up winning. They'll pin Dominic, and I don't think we see Edge until the next night on Raw.
Gary.
Yeah, I'm with John on that one. I mean, I have Judgment Day winning, and I think this match is there just for them to have a straightforward enough win, and I do think it'll be for Rhea to get involved, but at some point soon, I think you'll see Dominic turning, whether it's tonight or whether it's Monday, and then, as was said, whether if he does it tonight, whether on Monday you then have Edge coming back and anybody else coming in to get involved, to even up the sides with Ray or whatever. But I do think Judgment Day will take it quite straightforwardly.
I got two things going here. I do think I made the joke about Aaliyah Mysterio, but Rhea Pie faced her. I think Aaliyah might try and get involved in this to try to offset Rhea and kind of fail miserably. Maybe Aaliyah's the one that joins the Judgment Day. That's a possibility. I didn't think of that till just now, thinking out loud. I have Edge coming back, but it's to thwart a post-match attack. So I think Edge will give the Mysterios their respect to let them complete the match, whether it be win or lose. I had the Judgment Day winning with the 50-50 buyback from Raw. And then I had the Judgment Day just keep on going after him after the bell, and that's when Edge will come out. Beth Phoenix would be interesting. I think she would, to offset Rhea Ripley. I think that would be a fun idea. Those two pairing up. That'll keep Rhea away from the women's title for a little bit before she was supposed to challenge for that at Money in the Bank, right? Wasn't she supposed to? Yeah, that was a mess. So I will go with the Judgment Day again, straight up, no interference, and it's going to be a good old fashioned. I guess Donnybrook. We just saw one of those on Wednesday. I don't think there's going to be shillelaghs or on Friday. Many shillelaghs or anything, but probably one of the more anticipated matches of the show. Following their win over the Mysterios at the Showcase of the Immortals, the A-lister shockingly turned on his partner, delivering a skull-crushing finale to the YouTube sensation Logan Paul. Ever since then, Paul has been training for a showdown with The Miz, inking a WWE deal on June 30th. The Miz did not take kindly to this news, insisting they team up again at SummerSlam, wanting no part of a singles match. Once Paul signed on the dotted line, he made it clear he's on a warpath to clash against the Awesome One, belittling and goading The Miz into accepting his challenge. On the July 18th edition of Raw, The Miz finally accepted Paul's challenge after a surprise ambush by Tommaso Ciampa. That's another thing. If you looked over the course of everything leading up with this match specifically, not this match specifically, this is from .com, but the one that they use on TV was just The Miz, and it was just Logan Paul. And Tyler, now all of a sudden, last night on SmackDown, Tommaso Ciampa appeared behind Miz's shoulder. It's a new era. Yes, it is.
Oh yeah. Off the top, I'm gonna go with. Oh jeez. You caught me looking down for 2 seconds.
I tried to sneak it on and off. That's the new era I was talking about. The McMahon-Helmsley era. Reborn.
I'm going to go Miz on this one. I think, obviously, the powers be in charge are very high up on Logan Paul as far as wanting to get him involved. And I think if you do it right, you don't want to fling him full speed at the moon right away. And especially coming off a tremendous WrestleMania performance, I think the Miz can go and take this one. And
Going back to
really
I'm sorry, going back to the last one, just Bray Wyatt. We forgot to talk about him. He's been rumored too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, go. I'm sorry, Ty.
Yeah, hashtag show me the question marks. Yeah, I gotta take Miz for this one. I think you can. I think Logan Paul can afford to take a loss on this one and not really hurt himself later.
Okay. John Smith.
Yeah, I got the Miz winning this one also. He's got Tommaso and he's got Maurice. So Logan Paul's coming down with just a Pokemon card. And I don't think it's going to be enough to offset the other two. So I got the Miz taking this one. Shoot to win.
He's got Tommaso Ciampa, Gare. He's got Maurice, and as we found out on Raw, I don't remember the size of his balls, but they sounded pretty big.
Yeah. I mean, we've got 2 celebrity matches tonight on the assumption that we count Logan Paul as a celebrity. So, we've got the 2 matches.
I don't even know if I'd call Pat McAfee a celebrity. He's a contracted wrestler.
True, but compared to Logan Paul, I'm a celebrity, but that's besides the point.
Yeah. We're no different than Logan Paul, guy. We're YouTube celebrities too. We're on YouTube too.
I can lose boxing fights too. No, I'm going Miz as well. I've been a Miz fan as a heel for a long time, and I think the match will be better than people expect. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be -5 stars, it'll be -20 stars possibly, but I do think that Miz can take it. Logan can afford the loss, and that'll kind of lead to him eventually realizing he needs to be a heel as well. So.
All right, then John DeConnie, that leaves you. That's a lot of Miz right there. That's a lot of Miz, and I'm smiling because I'm going Miz.
Well, I will plant my flag on the island all by myself. And I will do it for 2 selfish reasons. Number 1, I hate The Miz. But I also know every time I pick against them, I lose. However, we know Maurice is going to be around. We know Ciampa's going to be around. Logan Paul would be an absolute idiot if he didn't have some backup. And I'm hoping that backup is AJ Styles, and it leads to an AJ Styles versus Ciampa match, because that's the only reason I care about Miz versus Logan Paul. So give me Logan Paul.
Okay, so AJ Styles last Monday on Raw, he said to Logan Paul, if you need anything, let me know. And then AJ proceeded to let Logan Paul get his ass kicked at the end of the show, and it did nothing about it. So who knows where that is? But
he didn't let him know.
He didn't let him know. So whose fault are we doing here? But yeah, I forget what the second point. Yeah, but so John DeConnie, what you're saying is you want that match to happen, and then you want another match to I guess, because there's a match missing right now because Seth Rollins and Riddle, due to Riddle's injuries from Monday night, is postponed or canceled or whatever it is. So you want AJ Styles versus Ciampa? That right after that'd be perfect.
As long as they give him at least 10 minutes, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Miz swerves Logan Paul by putting him up against Ciampa or MJF to earn the match. Beats the first opponent with an upset and then pulled off an incredible performance and defeats the Miz. Yeah, what was MJF doing? Anyone have eyes on MJF? So let's go to that match. Let's go to Seth Rollins and Riddle. We all kind of assume, talking amongst ourselves, okay, Riddle's injured, that's fine. So we put up question marks, Tyler's favorite thing. So Tyler, leave you first. Then Rollins put out this tweet like, "Hey, I tried. I wanted to be on the card. Thank you for doing it." It was Kobe Lopez. It wasn't Seth Rollins, but yeah, that's his real name. But it's Triple H's like, I hear you. So maybe they throw Rollins out there. Like, what do you think happens with Seth Rollins tonight?
I think you're going to get the typical come down to the ring, whine that I don't have a match. This is unfair. I'm Seth freaking Rollins. Obviously, now we have there's no planned match for Seth Rollins. But if we're going off the basis of the question marks, it could be the inevitable return of CM Punk tonight. I don't know. I'm not saying that.
Tyler's back, everybody.
I'm just implying we don't bet against question marks.
Let's get it up there for you, Tyler. Where is he? There it is, Tyler.
Bring me SpongeBob.
John Smith. Anything with Rollins tonight?
No, I can't. I mean, maybe this guy might end up making a return or something after Seth cuts a promo, and just come down with like a weapon and something that he can do while injured.
That's a Cody Rhodes. Forgot ESPY award-winning Cody Rhodes. John.
Yeah, I fully expected them last night to have that Rollins segment where he complains, "Oh, now I don't have a dance partner for SummerSlam," and the perfect plug-in was right there waiting for him. And you don't have to worry about the fact that there's no build. You don't have to worry about the fact that what do you do with them afterwards, because this is a guy that can eat a loss and nobody cares because he's so entertaining. And you just had him in Riddle's ear a week ago talking about Rollins, so it kind of wrote itself. Kevin Owens. Tell me you wouldn't want to see Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins, even if there was nothing on the line and there was no build to it? I know I do. But I expected the setup to be last night, so since they didn't do it, I don't assume it's going to happen at SummerSlam, but I sure would be happy if it did.
Gary, the Certified Wrestling Podcast has all these theories about Bray Wyatt. Joining the Judgment Day. Then we have, how about this one for you? Lily and Becky Lynch joining the Judgment Day because they have orange hair. Gable Stevenson to show up with Bray Wyatt. And then you got James Wheeler chiming in as well. You got The Fiend, you got Karrion Kross, and you got Johnny Gargano all doing nothing right now. Even though Johnny, oh my God, Johnny Impact. Johnny was on Impact on Thursday. Johnny Gargano was on Impact. Oh my God.
Well, I mean, common sense would say Cody Rhodes or Randy Orton. But Ric Flair's just been cleared to wrestle. So his last match is tomorrow night. Now, what's like Tyler saying, not wanting to start the rumors about CM Punk? If his last match is tomorrow night, well, he could have his second last match tonight. So I'm just putting that out there. Big Rick.
Could be. Then you can just hop on it, just go right across. It's in Nashville, right? No, he's there. Jarrett's there. Him and Jarrett can just ride over together after the show's over. Fun. Speaking of Jeff Jarrett, he got caught into the middle of this. The WWE, the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, the Usos, say there isn't a team in WWE who can beat them after a controversial finish to their recent title matchup against the Street Profits at Money in the Bank. However, their status as undisputed has now come into question, and that question will be settled one way or another in a rematch at SummerSlam with special guest referee J.A. I forget. I can't spell it.
When there's only 6 letters in your name, it's hard to spell things, right?
Yeah, exactly. I have 2 letters in my name. Sometimes my name is Law, which is embarrassing. John Smith, Jeff Jarrett. I liked your thought about Jeff Jarrett in the article. So let's start with you.
Yeah. So in the article, it said that he's never been a very honorable character or wrestler or whatever. He's always been very conniving, and obviously that plays into the heel's hands. But then last night, he got kicked in the face by the Usos.
Yeah.
So. That kind of makes you think like he's going to go ahead and help the Street Profits. So maybe he does give us the swerve after all. Like, maybe they're just setting us up for that swerve and he does help the Usos. Or maybe inadvertently helping the Usos by, them ducking him, hitting them with a guitar, and he hits one of the Street Profits or something instead.
Yep. Yeah. Gary, Jeff Jarrett, he's a slap nuts.
Yeah, I mean, on a personal level, I like him. I've interviewed him. We are in touch every now and again, email each other every now and again, kind of see what the crack is. I haven't
He's not from the UK. How do you know Jeff Jarrett? He's not from the UK.
I am just. Yeah, I do. I've interviewed him in a previous life. I've interviewed him.
Wow.
I don't have a clue why he's involved in this match, other than to kind of, to me, as I said there, to cause some sort of shenanigans to make the Usos win the title. I do think that Street Profits will win the belts, but possibly get a rematch at Clash at the Castle and win them there. But I think here that Jarrett will do something intentionally or otherwise to kind of cost them the match, and the Usos will go over.
Yeah, John Connie, if the Usos lose this, that's not going to go over well with Roman at all. I'm not going to bet against the Usos, and whenever it happens and they do drop the titles, I'll just eat whatever points they are, and I just hope they aren't that many. Hope it's a 3-point match and not a 15. So, Jeff Jarrett he's from Tennessee. That's his thing. That's the only ring that makes sense to me. And if you have him do something heelish tonight, that will leak into the match tomorrow night, which is also in Tennessee against Ric Flair. You know, and a tag team with Jay Lethal, who everybody hates, and you know, with Ric Flair teaming with his son-in-law, which is weird. Andrade, that just doesn't whatever. It's not my thing. But yeah, so you can do something with Jarrett now, will they?
Yeah, I mean, Jarrett. It's completely useless to have him here. You know, he's on a Legends contract. So we're in Nashville. Jeff couldn't get a slot at the Bluebird Cafe to perform with his guitar with no strings on it. So we'll put you in as a guest referee. And if he's there, he's going to do something. And there was the setup last night to make you think he's going to side with the Street Profits. But he's a heel at heart, so he'll wind up screwing them over, and the Usos retain.
Tyler, James Wheeler chiming in. In my opinion, the Street Profits need to win this match. They don't need it. This is must win. This is Game 7 for the Street Profits. If you want to put it in any other type of sports way, this is must win. Because if they lose this now, that's I think 3 in a row that they've lost. Yeah, their shoulders up, whatever, but they're L's in the record books. And this is must win because they're not going to get another shot after this for a very long time.
Yeah, this is, like you said, this is Game 7. They have to win. I'm in agreement with pretty much everyone here. Why Jeff Jarrett is here, other than the fact that it's in his area, makes absolutely no sense to me. Although I don't particularly see him actually being a tremendous factor in the match. To me, this kind of has the writing all on the wall for the special guest referee to be taken out at some point and then having absolutely nothing to do with the finish.
All right. Little Nate make the call? Little Nate come down and makes the 3 count?
That somehow I feel like that would make it worse. I got to pick.
But if he hits Little Nate, there you go. That'll set up tomorrow night too. If he knocks out Little Nate,
that's very true. But I'm going to go Street Profits here. Like you said, Game 7. If they don't win this, it's going to be a very long time before they get a shot again. And you got to think the Bloodline's got to have a riff in it somewhere sooner or later. So why not start getting on Roman's bad side tonight?
Yeah, tied. You know, if the Usos retain, we still haven't seen these Usos versus the New Day, and then they got the Viking Raiders.
I know it's
that's in John Smith's alley, a little heel on heel action. But I think the Usos and the Viking Raiders would tear it down.
I know, and it's also it's one of those things where right now it's like I hate that the tag titles are unified because you got so much good going on now, and all the titles are in one spot.
Yeah.
So yeah. I gotta stick with my guns and go Street Profits because I do see eventually there's got to be a riff in the Bloodline somewhere, and especially.
Yep, we are.
Not currently. We're talking about it currently.
Depending on how far you want to fast forward to, if you want to look ahead to next year, if there's those big things for Roman Reigns, Q and SpongeBob over here, you got to figure the Usos got to break away from the Bloodline at some point.
That's valid. All right. Gentlemen, I spy a Jersey girl. There are a few competitors as devastating as the baddest woman on the planet. The former Raw Women's Champion emerged after taking some time off to become a mom, and it wasn't long before she made Charlotte Flair scream, "I quit," to claim the SmackDown Women's title. As the fans took in the start of her reign, it seemed unlikely that anyone else would be holding the title for a long time. That all changed on one fateful night on July 2nd. However, when the determined Morgan rose above the competition to win the Money in the Bank ladder match and seize the contract for a championship opportunity. Later that night, Morgan emerged just moments after Rousey's epic title retention over Natalya and cashed in on the Rowdy one. That was epic. After getting trapped in Ronda's debilitating ankle lock for several edge-of-your-seat seconds, Liv suddenly kicked herself free and rolled up. See, they're watching us. It says rolled up Rousey to secure the 3 count for her first championship. Gentlemen, I'm going Liv. It's all heart. It's no thought. Don't care. John Smith, now I'm going to go to you because this is what I was saying before about some possible interference. And
Right. Yeah. So, this is the one where I was thinking, whoever Ronda's next opponent is going to be, or it could be Natalya even, but I'm thinking that her next opponent will get involved and help Liv, unbeknownst to Liv, and she'll just, capitalize on the situation.
There you go. That's exactly what we're talking about, Tyrone. I'm going Liv Morgan. John Smith's going Liv Morgan. We're from Jersey. We take pride in our Jersey girls. John DeConnie, finish the Jersey stream here.
Absolutely. I thought for sure Natty was going to be in this because then that would give Liv someone else to pin other than Ronda because I was having a hard time swallowing that. But I got to feel like, especially with the new regime in place, you can't look at the reaction that Liv's been getting from the crowd and say anything other than this reign needs to continue. Liv Morgan retains.
There you go. Tyler, you're close to Jersey on Strong Island, so what do you got in this one? Yes.
Okay.
That's it, right? Gary, who do you got?
Now, let's go to the winner and then we'll work our way back. Liv Morgan, but thankfully, I'm just about far enough away from you all that nobody can throw anything at me, right, or find me. Right? I don't think Liv should be champion right now, but I don't think it's the right time to take the belt off Liv either, because I think that wouldn't help her at all. But I could see there being some sort of interference, whether Charlotte comes back and gets involved, and then, as I said on the piece for the website, whether Charlotte comes back and then that leads to Charlotte and Liv, and then that leads to Charlotte and Ronda coming in the next year. But I can see Liv retaining, but by some sort of shenanigans.
Somebody's at the door.
Come in.
Yeah, right. And that brings us, I'm sure Liv and Ronda will main event the show. So the penultimate match. I'm kidding. That leads us to our main event. One last time, one last match, last man standing. But let's go through the history. I got one comment that just came in. We got James Wheeler real quick. Liv Morgan needs to have a capable title run, so please give Liv. There you go. That's the thing. And Gary, it's gonna be like around the horn. I'm gonna mute you for saying what you said. So here is the history on pay-per-view matches of Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. There were 8 of them. This will be the 9th tonight. It started at WrestleMania 31. And ironically enough, this was the one match that neither of them won. Of course, the infamous cash-in by Seth Rollins, the greatest cash-in, quote unquote, of all time. Seth Rollins inserted himself into this match, making it a triple threat, curb stomping Roman Reigns for the win. So that's Seth Rollins, and I believe this was actually Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble to earn this fight. This was a big buildup. I thought this was a big match feel. I thought this one was good. Fast forward, I believe after this, Brock Lesnar got suspended, this, that, and the other. The Roman Reigns got the title back. Then Roman Reigns ended up losing the championship to Triple H at the Royal Rumble. So the next month at Fastlane, they had a triple threat match. And the winner got to challenge Triple H at WrestleMania 32, which we all know ended up being Roman Reigns. So this chalk one up for Roman Reigns here. I do not know if he beat Lesnar or probably Ambrose. Look at Ambrose. Look at baby Ambrose back there. Look at that. That was one of 2 multi-man matches. The next one was a year plus later. There was a fatal 4-way involving these two. But you add Samoa Joe and you add Braun Strowman at SummerSlam 2017. So there's some SummerSlam history between Brock and Roman as well. This one was won by Brock Lesnar, successfully retaining. Fast forward to the main event at WrestleMania 34. Roman Reigns getting a rematch after the years ago. They finally settled the score. There was no Money in the Bank winner. And Brock Lesnar, as the heel, becomes the 3rd wrestler in WrestleMania history to defend the championship as a heel in the main event, joining Triple H and The Miz in a very illustrious club that Roman Reigns would go on to join as well later on. After that, we had a steel cage match at the Greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. That was also won by Brock Lesnar. So back-to-back pay-per-view wins by Brock Lesnar over Roman Reigns. Then you get them to SummerSlam 2018 as well. Right after the Saudi Arabia match at WrestleMania, Roman Reigns finally got the job done, conquering the Beast after all these attempts. So Roman Reigns won the Universal Championship finally. Fast forward 3 years to last year's SummerSlam. Roman Reigns defeated John Cena, and then here comes Brock Lesnar, which set up the match at Crown Jewel of last October, which was won by Roman Reigns. Fast forward to the greatest WrestleMania. I'm sorry, the biggest WrestleMania match of all time. Champion versus champion title unification match, which was also won by Roman Reigns. And that leads the score right now, the all-time series of Roman Reigns for 4 wins, Brock Lesnar 3 wins, and then Seth Rollins with 1 win. Good job, Seth. So this is tonight. The Beast is back, and he's looking to knock Roman Reigns off the top of the WWE mountain. Who will stand above the wreckage when Reigns and Lesnar meet in Nashville at the biggest event of the summer? But then, gentlemen, as we've been discussing, there's this guy. Our Money in the Bank contract holder, who has repeatedly, time and time again, saying he is going to cash, amongst other things, he is going to cash in on either Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns once the match is over. Because the guy's down for 10. Well, one of the guys is down for 10. The other guy's going to be up, but that's the guy who's got a challenge. So we'll go around the horn. We'll start at the bottom. John DeConnie. Who do you have?
All right. I do have a blow up the whole card scenario in mind, but it's way out there. So maybe if there's time at the end, I'll come back to it. But straight up, the way I'm picking, gun to my head, this is one of those, I'll believe it when I actually see it, and I'm not betting against it until I see it. I've got Roman retaining just because it makes the most sense.
Okay, Gary.
Yeah, as I've said before, for some of our NXT UK matches, this is 2 big boys having a big boy fight. This is going to just be hard going, 2 fellas kicking each other's heads in for as long as it lasts. But I have Roman Reigns standing tall eventually at the end of it, but Roman's going to win.
Okay. John Smith. It's tough to beat a guy 5 times in 9 matches in one. Never mind. John Smith, who do you got? Muting.
Shoot, sorry. When you put it on, when you put it like that, it's 4-3 Roman. You know, it kind of makes me feel like, with this 50-50 stuff, Brock might end up taking this somehow, but. I think it's more likely that this is a double countdown than anything, but I'm going to go, anytime I pick that, it doesn't happen when I go no contest. So I'm still going to go with Roman because I think he's retaining either way. So I'm going with the higher percentage with that, but definitely wouldn't be surprised if they both got counted down.
And then again, we'll do the round table and the Money in the Bank. Tyler, who do you got in this?
It's again, this was the hardest match to pick on here by far. It's literally the only match I don't have a circle for. It's the only match I did not pick last night.
I say to come back to you, but you're last on the list.
Yeah, I know. There's no coming back to me. I literally maxed out every minute I had. I got to go Roman. I'm kind of thinking along the same lines as John Smith. I have a feel. I see that double count out coming, or that no contest, but I'm not comfortable picking either one of them anyway. So I'm just going to pick Roman.
Okay, I got Roman Reigns as well, only because we know who his next challenger is Drew McIntyre. We saw Drew and Roman have a feud probably about 3 years ago, and the circumstances were a lot different back then. McIntyre was the big, nasty, evil heel, and Roman Reigns, there was WrestleMania 35. He just came back from beating leukemia, and it's been a very long time, and ever since they did the draft last year, they've just been avoiding Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns at all costs. And I believe that they are saving it for Clash at the Castle, and I think you have to pull the trigger on that. So James Wheeler, he's gonna I guess somewhat agree with me. Save theory for Dolph Ziggler. I believe Roman Reigns is going to leave SummerSlam. And then Drew to throw, that's a different story. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I don't know if Drew's even going to get that job done. But I know that you have to go Roman and Drew at Clash at the Castle. Gary, that's what the UK people want. You have your fingers on the pulse of the UK here.
Yeah, I mean that would be the one I would be shocked as soon as I heard that was what was being set up for Friday night for the winner gets it. You go, yeah, right. This is everything that's happening here is going to be Drew and Roman, I would assume.
Okay, so now that only leaves Theory. John DeCiani, you said you have a blow up everything. Could we see Theory versus Brock Lesnar at Clash at the Castle? That's also an option.
Okay, so I'll go with I'll lay out my Lawrence Taylor don't smoke crack scenario in this segment here. But I'll start with, on my safe scenario, the way you set up Theory and Dolph. He's been hanging around, but he hasn't really done much of anything. Theory tries to cash in, and Dolph somehow intervenes, super kick, takes him out of the way. He winds up not cashing in. But in the theory where I do smoke the crack, you've got McIntyre going to the Castle, which was, I would have bet everything that I own and some vital organs on that last night. Are you sending him over there to lose? So, with that theory in mind, Theory cashes in. I even have, because WWE likes to have, this guy's a 7-time champion and this guy's a 12-time champion. Here's a scenario where you can get a cheap, add one to the card. I don't care if he uses a forklift to hold him down. Brock wins. Brock is your new Universal Champion. But because he just beat the holy hell out of Theory with the briefcase last night, Theory comes in with a steel pipe or the briefcase or whatever. He gets the job done right there. Your new, youngest ever, universal, undisputed, blah, 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 new champion, Theory. Now you send Theory to the Castle where no one's going to have a problem with him losing to Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre blows the roof off of the roofless stadium, I believe, over there at the Castle. And wins the title in Wales. And then you can have your Drew versus Roman for Survivor Series. And because of that, that also tumbles down the card. Now I changed my mind to the Usos losing the tag titles to the Street Profits, because if they're not going to win them now, when the hell are they going to win them? Now you've got the tag titles on a babyface team, which makes them ripe for the new vicious Viking Raiders to come take those belts away from them. So that's my lunatic fringe scenario. There you have it.
So what you're saying is Samoa Joe doesn't have a chance to beat Scott Steiner. Gary, what do you after all that, Gary? You got Theory cashing in? What's Austin Theory doing?
There is actually a roof at that stadium, believe it or not. But they can close it if they need to. If it looks like it'll rain, they'll close it. But if it doesn't, it'll stay open. Well, however, sorry. I sat with my finger over do I choose the cash in, do I not? Because I know that they've teased it for so long. And then I thought, I actually think they'll do it. And then at the last second decided, no, what I think will happen is he'll come out to cash in. And that Paul Heyman, after Roman retains, Roman will be left lying, whether Brock hits him or somebody else does something. And Theory comes out, and Paul Heyman will be Paul Heyman and will talk Theory into going, like, you don't want to take the easy way out. Nobody respects you as a champion if you do this, blah, 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 blah. And talk him out of cashing in because he knows that Roman would be right for the pickings. So I'm going to say that eventually, no, there'll not be a cash in.
John Smith.
As entertaining as John DeConnie's theory would be, it goes against my theory that I've been saying ever since Walter lost his title, that they had him lose it so close to 1,000 days because they want Roman to get there first. So I got Roman not losing until May. Spoiler alert, you'll know my picks for the next 9 months.
Who's he chasing? He's not chasing San Martino, right? I mean, it's not
Pedro Morales, I believe.
Pedro Morales, 1,027 days.
Also, shouldn't this title match be worth 50 points because it's got 2 titles on the line?
No, they're unified. It's all one.
But it was worth 100 at the.
Well, the 2 titles being unified. They're already unified. It's a circle.
Okay.
No, I get what you're saying.
Is there only one lineage now? Do they have to then be like, what's going on here?
You gotta ask Hunter. Yeah, you have to ask Hunter. I want them split. I want all the titles split back. I'm with Tyler on this one. I'm with you on this one, Tyler. I want everything split back up. Nice and neat and organized. Everybody's staying on their own shows. Nice and organized.
Yeah.
What do you think about Money in the Bank, Ty? You got Theory doing anything?
This might be the first show where I come on here and don't predict the cash in.
Yeah, you had it last year. I forget who you had the cash in on, but yeah, you had the cash in last year.
I think in the last 2 years, I might have done about a total of 7 shows with you, and all 7 I pulled a cash in on you. And I think one of those shows, the briefcase had already been cashed in. So, I got to say no on this one. It doesn't make a ton of sense right away. I think you can wait a little bit longer. I don't really have an in-depth novel as to why or what show we have to buy out in order to make it happen.
I think he's just going to get bombarded. Like, just before the match, the Usos are going to drop him before the match. He's going to stumble out, get super kicked or whatever by not super kicked, but we'll save Ziggler for last. But like Madcap Moss is going to kick his ass on the way down the aisle while the match is going on. Like, it's just going to be like everybody hates this guy, and I think they're all going to have a piece of him so that he doesn't cash it. I feel like they're beating the dead horse here. He's like, I'm going to cash in. I'm going to cash in. That means you're not, right? Like, that's you go. Usually the other way. So I definitely have it starting with the Usos, or they're either going to begin it or they're going to be the tail end of it to protect Roman at the end. That's the difference between the difference. If Roman wins, he's got to protect. If Brock wins, he's screwed. I'm sure the Usos will help Theory get or whatever, maybe get the title. But imagine if all this goes down and Theory doesn't cash in, though, and then we have Clash at the Castle, and Drew McIntyre ends Roman's 700, 800-day reign, and then Theory cashes in Wales to just take it right away from Drew. Like, oh, that would be the biggest heel thing. That would be up there with Ambrose turning on the night Roman announced he had leukemia. Like, that would just piss people off. But Gary, actually, real quick, Gary, just staying on one last topic of Wales before I read the promotions and get us out of here to finish our beautiful Saturday here stateside. Any way we can get Tegan Knox coming back to Cardiff? Can we get Tegan back, please?
Tegan Knox versus Jenny. We get her a win. Here's hoping.
Hunter.
It has been interesting actually hearing some of the names of people that they think are going to come back because Hunter's in charge and all the things are going on. Things like that wouldn't surprise me, to be fair, but it wouldn't surprise me.
It would be awesome. I just got myself out. Well, get her. She's not doing anything. She's not all elite yet. Get her. Okay, that will do it for our show. Any last rogue things, real quick before we get out? Before we do the promotion. Now we'll do that at the end. I'll let you guys think of some rogue theories here. I'm ready to roll. Is this the wrong? Yeah, that's the right one. There we go. So we have the Prime Time Rundown. The Primetime Rundown's regular season programming has concluded and resumed its second summer schedule every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Join Joey Jarzenka, Ian Schreier, and Mike Szabo as they bring you the world of sports on Monday nights in the thick of the summer right here on the Eastern Observer. Do you have an interest in becoming a sports reporter? Would you want to be asking high-profile coaches and players questions in person? Are you a college student looking to break into the sports media industry and looking to write about your favorite team? The Eastern Observer is looking for interested candidates to join our family for college credit. I can't believe that Joseph Kennedy Jarzenka can offer college credit for this. Unbelievable. Look no further. Aspiring writers, social media specialists, content creators, etc. can inquire by emailing eosports3@gmail.com. We are looking forward to having you join the Eastern Observer family. The Black Cats NYC, their album Free Cake is out anywhere that you can get your music. Deezer, YouTube, Pandora, Spotify, anywhere you get your music, you can get the Black Cats NYC's album Free Cake. It's out now. Play loud. Hey, Ty, you know what I had on the bottom? Bring in the Sunday sauce. We have a new show on the Eastern Observer, one near and dear to my icy heart. The Sunday Sauce is every Sunday afternoon, hosted by our very own Sheriff Tyler Adele, along with his partner Andrew Vicoria, a.k.a. Drewski Doodles, as they bring you everything NHL and all of the league's happenings. Get saucy this Sunday afternoon with the Sunday Sauce right here on all of the Eastern Observer platforms. As always, the Essential Wrestling Podcast is sponsored by ProWrestlingPick'em.com, the internet leader in sports entertainment pick and pools. Join us in the Essential Wrestling Podcast public pool to play against us or create a private pool with you and your friends. ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends, play against the universe, and guys, she will like it too. Join us this Tuesday for episode 112 at 5 p.m. for the Essential Wrestling Podcast on all of our viewing options. And while you're here and you're watching and listening, please make sure you like this episode, subscribe to the Eastern Observer to make sure you get all the updates on all of our shows and news articles. It is all about the algorithm. John DeConnie, anything before we get out of here? Any last road theories?
No, just very excited for tonight because there are almost no matches that I feel confident one way or another. So I'm very excited to see how it plays out.
There you go. We are ready for the biggest party of the summer, James. We are ready. Gary, you ready for the biggest party of the summer?
Oh, yes. And I would love to see, actually, if it turns out that Brock did win, I'd love to see Gunther come out and stand face-to-face and tease a Gunther-Brock match down the line. That would be like... It's not going to happen because Roman's going to win, but you know, a man can dream.
Gary, you happy? Right now we're lined up. I mean, I don't want to speak for whatever was Survivor Series, but right now we're lined up with Gunther and Bobby Lashley. I want that to stay.
Yeah, I'm hoping just anything. I can see Gunther getting pushed more and more and more. Actually, in the next 6 months, I can see him really getting more prominence.
John Smith.
No, just looking forward to the show tonight. Hopefully we get a Bray Wyatt come back. That'd be nice.
That'd be fun to watch. Tyler, I wish the show would go a little bit longer. We miss you, pal.
I know.
Thank you so much for coming on, man.
I'm not going to see you guys again until like WrestleMania 43 now.
Get right.
Yeah.
No, I'll be back. Survivor
Anything
Series?
before we get out of here? Yeah, Survivor. I won't be on for Survivor Series, unfortunately. We got a game that night.
Oh, do we?
Yep. We're clear for the Rumble. We're clear for WrestleMania, but we're missing the Survivor Series again.
Just have fun. Enjoy the party.
There you go. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Alexa Bliss, we love you. Larry Steve, forever in our hearts. John DeConnie, take us home.
Thanks for joining us. And as always, we wish you the best in all your future endeavors.
There you go. Congratulations, guy. 30 years.
Yeah.